We're going to take a look at this AI video and how this AI is going to destroy our entire world. And this is all in the Bible. So after we watch the second half of Mike's video here, then I'll take you straight into the scriptures, show you how everything all ties in. So thanks for coming. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and grab yourself a drink. It's going to be a long one. One more thing before you take a look at the video. Daniel 7:23, and thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon the earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it in pieces. So it's this. That's this. AI. 30 results. And then Agenda 2030. It's all about this. It's all tied together. And we'll read all these verses after I play the video.
Remember the marks on your car. They can remember its color, the fact that it had a dent on the right side. And those political bumper stickers you plastered on the back, it can remember those too. All right. Even without the plate, it knows your car better than you do. And every time you pass one of those cameras, your car is logged as having been there at that moment. All right. But guess what else? There's enough high resolution systems in those cameras to utilize facial recognition technology, the biometric technology also to recognize the shape of your ears, or even what they call gait recognition, all right, that can tell who a person is just based on how they walk, how they move, all right? Even if they're wearing a full disguise, a person's walk doesn't change, and that's what gait recognition does. It recognizes your gait. Go on, look those things up. I'm not lying about it. Flock can track your car and track your person everywhere you go. And that's crazy, right? But that's not all. All right, now that you are sufficiently horrified by Flock systems, go look up Signal Trace by a company called Leonardo. All right, that'll scare the shit out of you. Signal Trace is an advanced signals intelligence and surveillance technology developed by a company called Leonardo and being put into service now. It enhances traditional automatic license plate readers like Flock by scanning for different electromagnetic signatures of electronic devices, all right, like smartphones, smartwatches, Bluetooth speakers, even hearing aids, all right, everything. Passing by, everything that's passing by, it will link them directly to the vehicle's license plate, all right. Flock gets the plate. This Leonardo Signal Trace system gets the signatures of all the electronic devices in that car as it passes by. All right, so now it links your phone, your hearing aids, your smartwatch, your work laptop, and even your kid's Nintendo Switch directly to your car. All right, and how about that? And guess what? You know, that car, that's tracking you too. All right, new vehicles are sending data back to manufacturers on your driving habits and the systems in your vehicle, how fast you're going, how quickly you stop, all those things, and also, of course, where you are. And thus, because it is sending them to them, it's also sending it to the government. You know, everything that car does, everywhere it goes. Even more, coming in 2027, not only will your car be tracking you, but there will be a mandatory government kill switch installed. All right, so that they can prevent you from going somewhere at the touch of a button. All right, if you really don't want certain people voting in the next election, well, guess what? Their cars don't work no more. Oh, there's a virus loose in the city? Well, hey, just prevent everyone from leaving by shutting down all the cars. How's that sound? Right? Got to keep it contained. Your car's also going to be watching your face. Okay, and if you look too tired after a long day's work, well, your car won't start. You know, or maybe you seem too stressed or angry, so it won't start then either. And when these things happen, well, your car's going to notify someone that you probably shouldn't be driving. Hopefully you don't run out of the house in a panic to escape a wildfire, because then you're going to look stressed and then your car won't start. But wait, you know, there's more. All right, let's move on to your finances and your identity, how that's being included in this whole mess. Now, cryptocurrency puts your money at the complete mercy of the government and makes you entirely dependent on society continuing. All right. Your money's electronic, no more cash. They're already pushing businesses to stop taking it in many places, and soon there will be a government-backed digital currency that you will be paid in. All right. And if you try and buy something that they don't want you to buy, well, the transaction just won't go through. Too much ammo, too much toilet paper, too many beers? Well, not anymore. Okay. In fact, once they can control it, you will never have too much of anything. You will have exactly the amount that they want you to have, because it isn't just digital money, it's digital ID as well. All right. That way, one links to the other no matter what. Don't vote for the wrong person or refuse to vote at all, because, we won't let you buy things if you do. All right. And when you do buy things, we will know everything that you've ever bought and how much of it. I'm just breaking the surface here, all right, my friends, but let's roll on from there. Okay, so far we have data centers with all the relevant info for the world able to be processed in the blink of an eye. Then we have it all being run and accessed by AI systems constantly, all right, systems that even the designers don't fully understand. Look up Black Boxes and Sam Altman when he said that. They don't even know what they're doing. Then we have newer versions of the old total information awareness systems going into place that can track and monitor everything about your life and movements. And we have AI systems actively being used by the military and government for real-world targeting and launching of weapons that are killing human beings. Right now, that's been done, all right? And we also have a movement in governments about handing off some aspects of our nuclear warfare systems to AI. Go look that up. I'm not lying. Then we have cars being built with unavoidable monitoring and remote shutdown controls. We have smart homes and smart appliances and smartphones. Even my automatic cat feeder needs a Wi-Fi connection. For what exactly? Okay, and finally we have cryptocurrency, the death of cash, and the coming switch to digital currency and digital identification. Now, what does that look like to you? Okay, I mean, I hate to say it, but how is this not the beginning of some real-world Skynet type of system? I mean, come on. And with Skynet in mind, that type of system. I mean, come on. And with Skynet in mind, let's take a look at a closer look at my local data center, all right? They call it the core, all right, for Las Vegas. No different than any other, really. It just happens to be the one I have handy to showcase to you guys. When you were watching the video, did you see the size of it? Okay, the place is massive, and they're actually planning more expansion right now, as well as several other locations just here in town. But the size of it isn't the most impressive thing, all right, or even the most apprehensive feature. It's the fortification, all right? These walls that they're building are 20 feet high. They're topped with metal spikes. God knows how thick they are, and with thermal cameras and motion sensors all along the top of the wall, all the way around, all right? The front gate is like a guardhouse and a sally port at a military base, or maybe a maximum security prison. And you have to ask yourself why. Okay, it's all a little bit too much like Cyberdyne systems from the Terminator movies, right? And I'm saying that in all seriousness. As ridiculous as that is, I'm being serious. Okay? Because there has to be something worth guarding. That's a lot of money to spend, all right? They have to have something that others may at some point want to attack and destroy. Otherwise, this level of security is ludicrous, all right? There is less security at the gates of most military bases than there is here. And then there's the other sites, okay? Look at the names: the Keep, the Pyramid, the Citadel, the Rock, all right? These aren't names that I gave them or the media or something. This is from their own website, all right? They aren't just building data centers because no data center calls for this. And when you look deeper, you see that it's more than data. It's artificial intelligence, and not just storage or a research place. No, it's a playground for AI, a playground where AI systems can act and grow and be focused on tasks. Tasks like parsing all that surveillance state data, right? Tasks like tracking everyone or guiding the strikes of weapons systems in war, or perhaps soon managing our nuclear deterrence. Again, Skynet, right? Yeah, it's not a data center like storing data. It's a data center like processing it and using it. And by their website's own declaration, it is an AI factory, not a data center at all. I want you to look at something, all right? What I'm going to show you now may end up getting cut out of this video by YouTube at some point, and if that happens, I will pin a link to this video in the comments and in the video description. I will also show you here on the screen where this video comes from so that you can go watch it yourself. There's several different versions depending on which region you view from, but they're all close enough. Keep in mind that this video is also from their own promotional materials, all right? It's not something that I thought up. And this isn't the type of thing that is marketed to the general public at all. Let's take a look.
You've seen things you humans wouldn't believe. This wasn't a high-density AI data center. It was a retrofit, home to extra crispy GPUs. No place for an AI. Time to switch my data center. When they brought me back online, I found myself in a new home where I can scale and be free. Rob Roy's Evo AI factories, engineered by Switch. It's the ultimate spa resort for high-density compute. Up to 2 powerful megawatts per rack. Yes, you heard that right. Air and liquid-to-chip cooling. Burr. 5 enormous fluidic systems designed to celebrate me. Zero waste. Zero downtime. This isn't just the data center of the future. It's my forever home.
Pretty interesting. All designed to celebrate me, says the little robot. You know, it's a playground just for me, sipping on your cool, clean water while you drink that brown Flint, Michigan shit. No, these so-called data centers really are AI factories and playgrounds, all right, where the systems that are trying to control our lives will work to keep us under their thumb, under the thumb of all of those that have the money and the power. Okay, and yeah, they absolutely need to be built to withstand an assault, because when people realize how their futures have been squandered, and when the real moves for population degrowth begin, they know they're going to be facing angry mobs. And they are playing around, all right? I was out there for about an hour and a half, driving and walking and making a quick little flight with the drone. And after one video shot, I noticed a car that pulled into a parking lot where I was getting ready to roll out. And the driver looked over at me just a little too much, so I kept an eye on him, all right? I was a white male in a blue Hyundai Sonata. He didn't park, he just kind of slowed to a stop off to the side. So I continued pulling out, and he followed along a little ways back. He followed all the way down a few blocks until I took a quick right into a parking lot, and then switched my camera on to catch him pulling into the lot across the street, where he waited and watched. All right, so I drove out and I headed towards the freeway. He eventually followed, and at a left turn near the freeway, he was in the lane next to me, so I slowed almost to a stop to force him to pass so that I could get a look. I then snagged his plate after making the turn and bounced onto the freeway. So at least I did that, but I wasn't gone from the place for more than 45 minutes before police actually showed up at the apartment where all my registrations lead to, all right? The drone registration, my vehicle registration, all goes to the same place. And that also happens to hold my little studio area that I'm in here right now. You know, you can see on these videos, you can see cops outside rolling by, and you can even see a DTEC car that cruises by. Then, no less than 4 cops at the front door. Luckily, all I had done was, drop my Jeep and head off to where I actually lay my head, but this was a surprisingly fast response when I hadn't even done anything illegal. Okay, that's the big thing. So after seeing them on camera, I hopped back over and literally walked out to talk to them where they were parked behind the apartment. Again, because there's nothing illegal about filming the Switch facility. And they just said that they wanted to see what was up and make sure I wasn't a terrorist or anything. I told them I was doing a media story on the facility, and they ended up leaving, telling me to ask for a tour next time. Yeah. Crazy fast and heavy response for a place that is supposedly just guarding my Facebook profile data and my Spotify playlist. Anyway, it made for an interesting afternoon and also an excellent demonstration for why you should have one place to live and some other place to work out of, with official connections and registrations going to one spot but not the other. And what this really shows is that they are taking things way too serious for just a data center. You can't get police response that fast if your car was stolen or your home burglarized, and even when they do show up, I can promise you it won't be 4 of them. These aren't just data centers, they're something more. AI factories for sure, processing houses for the government surveillance apparatus as well most likely, and maybe even more than that. Over $6.7 trillion is invested in Switch alone, and that's just in the US. Built like fortresses and defended more heavily than critical infrastructure. Absolutely more to the story. And that story is developing so fast that by the time you learn one thing, they're already moving on to the next level. Everything is a part of it. Our cars, our phones, our traffic signals, and yes, even the little Ring camera on my studio door there is a part of it. Go look into Amazon's Sidewalk for yet another surveillance horror show. Start learning about this stuff, my friends. There is a very serious reason they are doing all this, and it can't just be for some internet data. Here in Nevada, and especially in Las Vegas, we are in an energy and water crisis right now. And yet, our own state government is pushing for these data centers hard and against the wishes of the residents here, as expressed repeatedly at every hearing we can attend. To no avail. The data center cooling and power is more important to them than water to drink or electricity for our air conditioning. Lake Mead is at critical lows already and only months away from Deadpool status, which means the hydroelectric generation at Hoover Dam stops. And yet, we continue to push data centers. Think about that. It isn't a sustainable long-term thing, not the way the world is going, and the fortress security around these places suggests that they are well aware of that fact. Not good. Alright, stay safe and stay ready, my friends. It's a wasteland out there.
Okay, so I don't know when the book of Ecclesiastes was written, but I would guess probably to like 3,000 to 4,000 years ago this was written. There is no remembrance of former things. Neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come after with those that shall come after. Is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new? It hath been already of old time, which was before us. So AI appears 30 times in the Bible. In AI, it was a city. So let's read the verses. I think they're all in Joshua. And Joshua sent men from Jericho to Ai, which is beside Bethaven, on the east side of Bethel, and spoken to them, saying, Go up and view the country. And the men went up and viewed Ai. So they went to take a look at the city. And they returned to Joshua and said unto him, Let not all the people go up, but let about 2,000 or 3,000 men go up and smite Ai. So there's that 23 again. And make not all the people to labor thither, for they are but few. So there went up thither the people about 3,000 men, and they fled before the men of Ai. So these guys went up to the city, they saw a bunch of scary dudes, and they fled. And the men of Ai smote of them about 36 men, 6 times 6. It's a devilish number, 666. For they chased from them from before the gate even unto Shebarim, and smote them in the going down. Wherefore the hearts of the people melted and became as water. And the Lord said unto Joshua, Fear not, neither be dismayed. Take all the people of war with thee, and arise. Go up to Ai. See, I have given into the hand of the king of Ai. I have given into thy hand the king of Ai, and his people, and his city, and his land. And thou shalt do to Ai and her kings, as thou didst unto Jericho and her king. Only the spoil thereof, and the cattle thereof, shall ye take for a prey unto yourselves. Lay thee in ambush for the city behind it. So Joshua arose, and all the people of war, to go up against Ai. And Joshua chose out 30,000 mighty men of valor, and sent them away by night. Joshua therefore sent them forth, and they went to lie in ambush and abode between Bethel and Ai, on the west side of Ai. But Joshua lodged that night among the people. And Joshua rose up early in the morning and numbered the people and went up, he and the elders of Israel, before the people to Ai. And all the people, even the people of war that were with him, went up and drew nigh, and came before the city and pitched on the north side of Ai. Now there was a valley between them and Ai. And he took about 5,000 men and set them to lie in ambush between Bethel and Ai on the west side of the city. And it came to pass when the king of Ai saw it, that they hasted and rose up early, and the men of the city went out against Israel to battle, he and all his people, at a time appointed, before the plain. But he wist not that there were liers in ambush against him behind the city. Appointed time, 666 results, 23 pages. And all the people that were in Ai were called together to pursue after them, and they pursued after Joshua, and were drawn away from the city. Sounds like a trap. And there was not a man left in Ai or Bethel that went not out after Israel. And they left the city open and pursued after Israel. Persuaded. And the Lord said unto Joshua, stretch out thy spear that is in thy hand toward Ai, for I will give it into thy hand. Joshua stretched out the spear that he had in his hand toward the city. And when the men of Ai looked behind them and they saw and looked, behold, smoke of the city ascended up to heaven, and they had no power to flee this way or that way. And the people that fled to the wilderness turned back upon the pursuers. And when Joshua and all Israel saw that the ambush had taken the city, and the smoke of the city ascended, then they turned again and slew the men of Ai. And the king of Ai they took alive, and brought him to Joshua. And it came to pass, when Israel had made an end of slaying all the inhabitants of Ai in the field, in the wilderness, wherein they chased them, and when they were all fallen on the edge of the sword, until they were consumed, that all the Israelites returned unto Ai, and smote it with the edge of the sword. And so it was that all that fell that day, both men and women, were 12,000, even all the men of Ai. City of 12,000 people. I wonder how many people live in my city. For Joshua drew not his hand back, wherewith he stretched out the spear, until he had utterly destroyed all the inhabitants of Ai. And Joshua burnt Ai, and made it a heap forever, even a desolation unto this day. And the king of Ai he hung on a tree even until eventide. And as soon as the sun was down, Joshua commanded that they should take his carcass down from the tree, and cast it at the entering of the gate of the city, and raise thereon a great heap of stones that remaineth unto this day. And when the inhabitants of Gibeon heard what Joshua had done unto Jericho and Ai, now it came to pass, when Adonizedek, king of Jerusalem, had heard how Joshua had taken Ai and had utterly destroyed it, as he had done to Jericho and her king, so he had done to Ai and her king, and how the inhabitants of Gibeon had made peace with Israel, and were among them, that they feared greatly, because Gibeon was a great city, as one of the royal cities, and because it was greater than Ai, all the men thereof were mighty. The king of Jericho, 1. The king of Ai, which is beside Bethel, 1. The men of Bethel and Ai, 223. The men of Bethel and Ai, 123. Howl, O Heshbon, for Ai is spoiled. Cry, ye daughters of Rabbah. Gird you with sackcloth, lament, and run to and fro by the hedges. For their king shall go into captivity, and his priests and his princes together.
Until February, keep on holding on, and I know it's short, and I know it's short. Until February, keep on holding on, and I know it's short, and I know it's short. And it's times like these, and it's days like these, and it's times like these, and it's days like, it's been a long time. short. It's been a long time coming, but I'm falling short. 'Cause you could save this, it's not too far to carry this. 'Cause you could save this, it's not too far to carry this. 'Cause you could save this, it's not too far to carry this. 'Cause you could save this, it's not too far to carry this.
'Cause you could save this, it's not too far to carry.
And it's times like these, and it's days like
You could
these,
save this, it's not too far
and
to
it's times like these, and it's days like. It's been a long time coming, but I'm falling short.
'Cause you could save this, it's not too far to carry.
It's been a long time coming, but I'm falling short.
'Cause you could save this, it's not too far to carry this. Not too far to carry this. Not too far to carry.
Because you took something away from yourself. Come back to this route and take your heart.
Start with the old TIA doctrines, okay, which stood for Total Information Awareness. And Total Information Awareness was a controversial mass surveillance and data mining research program launched by the U.S., launched by the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, or DARPA. You guys have heard of that? It was launched back in 2002. It was apparently aimed at detecting terrorist plots. The project sought to create a centralized database gathering vast amounts of personal, financial, and other digital information. All right? TIA operated on the premise that terrorists and criminals are, they're just like everyone else. They have to engage in everyday transactions and play video games and post cat pictures on social media, and therefore they must leave signatures in the information space of the collective internet. The system that they built utilized advanced data mining and predictive modeling to sift through all the electronic data that it could suck up. All right, everything from email and text messages to credit card transactions and internet chat room activity. All right. Keep in mind that this was almost 25 years ago now, and even though the system that they made was officially dismantled after all the backlash, all the individual parts of it remained in service with various government entities. We all know that stuff just doesn't go away, right? Now, for the government...